2, 1.
Hey everybody! Welcome to IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. It's a news, pop culture, sci-fi entertainment channel, and it's brought to you by two old guys that grew up watching.
Hey, speak for yourself.
No, it's me. It's me.
We're
it's
young
me.
at heart.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, that's correct. And we grew up watching 70s and 80s TV, movies, cartoons, reruns. I'm NYPete. I'm here with my best buddy, Chris.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Tipsy Toaster. We're glad to have
go.
you with us tonight.
And we got some of our local and very cherished supporters and watchers, subscribers, Scott and Ramon, RZ, Caswell, Paul, Commander Kane. Thank you for joining us. Chuck Davenport. Yes. And Lola, of course. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining. Stay out of the Casbah. All right, so
Carl,
let's get into a whole bunch of things we have to tell you. So New York Comic Con's on. We have a lot of news to tell you. I did a quick recon. Really good news, actually, fun news. Chris is gonna make his way to New York City overnight. Yes. And tomorrow,
I would say overnight. Tomorrow morning.
Well, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
And
Chris
he'll
is
be
still
here.
packing because Chris has been a hell of a week for Chris. Chris has been trying to put something together for a week, and it hadn't worked well.
Yes, the Ravishal Pulsar. Hey,
yes,
John, what's up, Carl? What's up?
I have created the Ravishal Pulsaric Communications Array.
Yeah.
I can show that tonight, I guess, right?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. So Chris has that, and I was lucky enough to just be in the right place, the right time. Made some really cool connections, and we'll talk about those as we get into the show. Of course, Tiny Bean Tara's coming on shortly in a little while. She'll be on giving us some updates, talking about some upcoming shows, films, movies. I mean, some crazy cool stuff. Anyway, so I don't know, Chris. Let's toast everyone. Sure. Really appreciate everybody being on with us and everybody else that's going to watch us later, which sometimes is in the thousands around the world. So
that's tens of thousands, millions, maybe someday.
Yeah, well, I hope so. From your mouth to everybody's ears.
One or two, it doesn't matter. You're all fans, and you're all important, so it doesn't matter to us if there's 10,000, 1,000, whatever. So we're here for you guys, and the fans always fuel the fleet. So
that's right.
What do you got tonight?
I got
drum roll.
Angry Orchard Hardcore Dark Cherry Apple, and of course, it's courtesy of Fran. Fran, thank you very, very much for taking care of us.
Dark cherry what?
I said dark cherry apple from Angry Orchard. Yeah.
You and your Angry Orchard. Did you buy Angry Orchard? You own stock in Angry Orchard or something?
I don't. But
the good news is I have a whole bag of brand new beer right across from me. So
excellent.
We'll be bringing that up to you in New York so we can have the dual beer thing going for a little while.
I have a box of cider is what I got. So Chris is referring to himself in the third person.
Because I have multiple brains.
Rob, good one, buddy.
I have multiple brains.
And here's you. That's right. Anger leads to the dark side, Rob says. So
don't worry. I don't get angry. I just pick up my Cylon Buddha and stroke the Buddha belly.
Boy. Two old guys aging like fine ambrosia. Thank you, mediocre modeler. Go ahead, make your wish, man. You started
to make a wish. It's the calming Buddha rub.
Cheers, Colin. Thanks for joining.
Or should I say beep? Beep. Yeah, okay.
Tonight,
So tonight I have, which is kind of weird, Three Floyds Brewing Company. It's called Speed Castle.
Speed Castle. What are you playing, a video game?
It looks like a video game. It's kind of a cool thing on the front cover here.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Oof. That looks scary, bro.
It's not normal, is what it says.
Oh, boy. Is your head going to explode while we're watching?
It's kind of a weird-looking head thingy. It looks like like a cross between some kind of scorpion and Deadpool.
It's a chaotic beast. That's what it is.
But it's only got 5.6% alcohol, so...
Yeah. All right. Ready?
I don't know where they're going to get Speed Castle out of it unless they put, like, speed in it. I don't think that... Ready? Uno, dos,
two,
three.
All right. Okay. And now, look what I got. Bringing back my Cylon glass. Bam.
Of course. It's the only glass you should be drinking out of.
I will keep my enemies close. Yeah, go. Okay, whoa.
I hate to say this, but this doesn't smell good.
Mine smells delicious.
This does not smell good.
Excellent.
Well, we'll find out. Three Floyds. Okay. So, anyways, we always toast the fans out there, the people who create the shows, the people who act in the shows, and the people who are fans of the shows. And we believe that those fans actually fuel the fleet, the fandoms, and everything else. So you're important. So we like to say thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being fans. Thank you for continuing the education of our young people in the fandoms. Because some of the young people have never seen Battlestar Galactica or V or Logan's Run or all those other really cool shows. Lost in Space. Yeah. So here's to you. Fans fuel the fleet.
Cheers. Oh. Whoa.
Okay, it tastes better than it smells. That's a good thing.
Mine has a very... black cherry. Tastes a little bit like cough drops.
Ew.
Like cherry cough drops.
Ugh. That doesn't sound...
That's just me, though. I mean,
but it's got to be better than 40-year-old bubblegum, so... Unless you want to switch it around in there a little bit. Put the bubblegum in there and switch it around a little bit.
You've eaten the 40-year-old because you did the challenge. So...
I have not tasted anything as bad as 40-year-old bubblegum as of yet. And I hopefully never will. Unless I go lick a museum, I think is what it's like I said. So
that's what you said. And we did that a year ago.
Yeah, it's been a year, hasn't it?
Yeah, we did that a year ago. We opened up a 40-year-old pack of Battlestar Galactica trading cards, and Chris actually ate the gum. And it was hysterical. Oh, and nasty. Many of you actually were live watching us go through that. I had a very good time watching it because it was to me very, very funny. And at Chris's expense, of course, but that's just is what it is.
I did have a bucket close by. I didn't need to use it, but it was close.
It was very funny, everybody. If you get a chance, go back to watch because it was good. It was that good. However, we're going to be doing the scrapbook, the Battlestar Galactica Scrapbook. We started that last episode. So we're doing that, and I'm going to give you guys an update because if you were on the Facebook and you saw that I put up a message that I did a quick reconnaissance of New York Comic Con, and it's happening as we speak. I think it just there's still stuff going on there now, and I happen to be at the MeTV booth, and today, which is Thursday, on Thursday only, MeTV today was sponsoring a one of the cast members, original cast members from the original Lost in Space, and that's Judy Robinson. All right, Marta Kristen, and she was kind enough to speak with me a little bit, and I got a couple of autographs. I got one for the Tipsy Toaster, one for myself. A really, really nice person, and we're gonna actually reach out to her and ask for her instructions, and we're going to try to work an interview into the future. She said she'd gladly come on, so we're going to try to see if we can lock her down. Really, really nice to have her. Really good people. She was, enthusiastic. From what I understand, talking to some of the other fans online or on the waiting line there, she doesn't do a lot of shows, so this was great. And I'll show you. This is what I got signed. There you go. There you go. So that was really, really cool. Obviously, they were playing, clips from the show itself, and this one is for the Tipsy Toaster. Really, really nice people. It was a pleasure meeting her. I've met others. I met Jonathan Harris, Dr. Zachary Smith. Met like 30 years ago. Really, really nice guy in New York City at a creation convention. Got his autograph, and I also met Godard, Major West, at a Big Apple convention in New York City years and years ago. As a matter of fact, I met him, Dirk Benedict, and Herb Jefferson at the same convention. And so now I got to meet Judy Robinson. So very, very cool. She has come to Wonderfest a few times. She's great, mediocre modeler. Okay, cool. All right, I wasn't aware of that. Great. But she doesn't. But like I said, from what I understand, she doesn't do a lot of shows. But Battlestar Galactica guy is probably watching. And Danger, New York, Pete, Danger. Yeah, thanks, Rob. Exactly. Paul Roder, sweet pick. Yes. It is a sweet pick. She, it's really nice. Very, very nice person. So Rob says he had her sign a Starlog at an appearance she made at Blobfest circa 2015 or 16. She was delightful. Yeah. That's what everybody says. So she has made certain appearances based on you guys. You tell me, you give me your feedback, but these are like, they're out there, right? I mean, it's just hard to get to all of these shows and to know where everything's going on. She told me that she does have a social media page. I don't know which one it is. There's a whole bunch of them on Facebook, so maybe we can, when she comes on, if we can get her, we'll find out which one it is, so we can find out, what's going on in the world of Judy Robinson, Marta Kristen. She is, just fabulous. She took time out to talk and did a quick little.
Do you want me to pull it up?
Interview. Yeah, I was waiting for you to put it up.
I was waiting for you to stop talking.
No, I'm going to talk over it, man. The audio
you want to talk over it, or you want to play the audio?
Yeah, we said that it. It was
a little low. We could try.
Yeah, it's really low. It's not just a little low. It's really low. Let her rip, man. It's there was no prep time. You're just online, but they didn't stop anybody. Yeah, go ahead. And so I got to talk to her just a bit, and I mentioned IFB, and so it was a lot of fun. It was just about a minute and 10 seconds. Look at that, she's all into it. She did not sit behind the desk. She did this for everybody. The first person to go up, I was like about 3 or 4 people in. She was FaceTiming her boyfriend, who was a big fan, and so she's like, "Oh, let me see him, put him on," and she talked, and then the next couple took pictures with her, and they took a bunch of pictures. She didn't care. The Meet TV people didn't care either.
That's good.
I asked her a quick question, unrehearsed, just a generic question, and she obviously answered. It was about what was it like, on the cat, being, working with everybody on the show, and she gave a really nice answer about how it was a lot of fun and everything. So we're gonna try to get her back. She says it has to do obviously with availability, but she gave us her contact info. We're gonna reach out, and we're gonna try to get her on IFB with us. So that was really cool. And actually, the other thing I want to mention, Chris, is that You can pull that now. Thank you for putting that on. Chris, I told you that I met. There's Lost in Space. You know, they're I guess like the core of the Lost in Space groups out there. It's part of the Jupiter Experience.
Huh.
Lost in Space Flight Deck Recreation original show props and costumes.
Recreation, not recreation.
Yes. No. Well, recreation.
Yes. The flight deck recreation.
Recreation. Yes, recreation. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I should get new glasses. But anyway, so they're going to come on the show, and I also so they're part of they were part of this Me TV thing, the promotion for Lost in Space, the original, the TOS, so that, and also Doug Hines, Gotham Cruisers. He said that he would definitely come on the show as well. Kits, parts, turnkeys, they do a lot of cool stuff. So
those are Batmobiles.
Yeah. That's what they make, amongst other things. So it's gonna be great. We're gonna hook up with them tomorrow, Chris. And
did they have a Batmobile there?
No, there's a DeLorean there. No Batmobile. That's usually popular. We see a lot of them, but no, not this time. I caught up with Keith Williams, and he'll talk to us tomorrow about a fundraiser that he's working with, a local church, and we'll talk about him and his artwork. I also met up with Chris. I set this up for us. Noir is the New Black. This is an anthology. It's a collection of various stories. So two of the artists that are featured in here are at the con. I spoke to them, and they're interested in doing an interview with us. And the other artist that I recognized, because I saw his artwork, is That Texas Blood. And Chris Condon, he's there. And he was inspired by Carl Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Oh, cool.
He's there. Spoke to him, gave him a card. So we'll go there tomorrow and see if he can make some time with us. I hope he does. Fan of his, and so that'd be really, really cool. Here's all the way to, I have number 10. My son's got more of these. So those are. Oh, the other thing that was really cool is this: the World of Studio Ghibli. So
the heck is that? It looks like a Indian mask type thing.
It's a fan. No, it's anime. It's an anime. So for those that are into the Studio Ghibli, there's some really, really great movies out there that they've produced. So they had a really cool display shop, the whole 9 yards.
Like a cat / sheep / totem pole.
Yeah, sort of. Noir. John Van Gusting, yes. All Cylons. Yes, all Cylons, Jeff Walters. A DeLorean that's heavy. Yeah, man. So, yeah, there's cool stuff going on. It's gigantic. A lot of people, more than I expected for a Thursday. So
how was the traffic? I mean, was it a lot of people, or?
You know what they did? They widened the aisles all around
to make it look like there's more stuff there. Last year it looked like there were some empty places.
Okay, so interestingly enough, there is no empty space.
Yeah, they widened the aisle, huh?
They widened the aisles. It's full. It's definitely full. New York Comic Con is full. There's a lot of food now, Chris.
They're sold out. They didn't sell out Thursday, though, did they?
Thursday, I'm not sure. I don't think they did, but I think they got close. Everything else is sold out. There's a lot of food. So there's the trucks out front, and there's food inside the actual, in the back corners.
I have to ask.
What?
Is there drink?
That's a good question. And I did not see adult beverages.
That's not a con. Even Awesome Con had beer. Yeah, they even had their own signature beer.
No, there was no signature beer. But I'll tell you, they didn't have any of that. The soda guy wasn't there.
Oh,
The,
really? Now that's a
yeah,
shocker.
yeah,
The
uh,
diabetic soda guy.
yeah. The writers area packed. There was, yeah, I mean, all the big, believe it or not. So Chris, you'll see that there's the regular aisles that are set up for the major and independent publishers,
hmm
and then there were more in the artist alley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, we really have a
and then
good
of
time
course,
talking to those people.
oh, we will. We're gonna have a great time. I'll tell you right now. Yes, this is no con without
With
grog. You're
Dragon
right,
Con.
Paul. Yeah. Um, beer would make me buy more. I know. But
You would think so.
yeah. The other thing I want to tell you about was real quick is that we ran into our very own Chris Fian from the Empire City Garrison, and they have a really, really nice setup this year. Next to them is the Ghostbusters cosplay guys. They have a really nice setup as
Oh, we're going
well.
to interview them tomorrow, too, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the I spoke to the president of the Ghostbusters, and he's ready to go. So he said if you guys could, he'd really appreciate it if we came down in the morning when it's not as crowded. So I told him, yeah, I think we could probably do that, no problem. Of course, Chris Fian was like, "Come down. We're looking forward to having you." And they're all there. The whole Empire City Garrison. Plus, there's a lightsaber area where they go through mock duels with kids and stuff. So that was really cool. Yeah,
I'd be braining some kid. Whack!
yeah. So you'll get to do the fighting, Chris. We'll
I
put
just
you on a
wanted to
little
know
helmet.
if the robot was at the Lost in Space thing. Did they have the robot
Well,
there?
the robot was there. I think I sent you
The
pictures.
traitor robot,
Oh
the one
boy.
that works with the humans.
Yes, he's the robot that's saving
No,
humanity,
no, he's a
unlike the
traitor.
robot that you represent.
He's a traitor.
He's not a
Traitor
traitor.
robot.
He is a human-friendly robot, like it's supposed to be.
I didn't hear human friendly. I heard traitor.
No, because you're speaking. All you're hearing is yourself, man. Yeah, so they had a full-size one-to-one scale reproduction of the Lost in Space robot,
I will
and
tomorrow. I will go there and kick it.
he's gonna smash your head, but that's beside the point. Yeah, really, really cool. And so kudos to Me TV and
Yeah,
Lost in
MeTV's got some
Space.
really good stuff on. I don't know if you ever get a chance to. If you got cable, there's some people have it, some people don't. I
Yeah,
can't. I have to look it up to find out.
it's really cool.
But they usually
But
have some really good shows on. Sometimes though, I think they even play Battlestar Galactica. They play some sci-fi stuff. Um,
they
it's
used
kind
to
of
run
yeah.
BSG. Yeah.
So it's something cool. I got to go check them out, see what they got on. Let's
Yes.
see.
The robot
Drove
drove
Dr.
Dr.
Smith
Smith
nuts.
nuts.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, Fenguli's going to be there tomorrow,
No,
hosted
Jeff.
by Mean TV.
Jeff. You've got the market on that. You really need to get a table there to market your the beard oil. There's not a single guy that I
Nobody.
saw on there.
Nobody.
So
Yep.
you actually
Nobody
have
there.
that market cornered.
Yeah.
So you might want to jump on that right away. I mean, make sure you have plenty of stock before you go, though, because it might sell out, and then there could be a riot because there's not enough beard oil to go around,
That's right.
and then that could be bad.
The mediocre modeler said the robot is the B9. There's a whole group of guys that are building those on the one-to-one scale. These guys that were there today, mediocre modeler, are licensed, and they've
Oh,
been to your show. I think it's called the Wonderfest. They've actually been to it. Really, really nice guys. They're from Ohio, and so
so
we're definitely going
they're
to hook up with them.
licensed trader robot builders.
Benign, as in non-threatening. It was a friend of the Robinsons. Yes, that's right,
Robots are not
John.
your
Thank you.
friends.
Yeah, cool robot, man. Always want to have that robot. So they told
Cylons are
me
not
they
your
have
friends.
that robot is B9 is. So he
Svengoolie. You mentioned
yeah,
something about
that's tomorrow.
Svengoolie too.
Svenguli's going to be there tomorrow,
We're gonna
and
interview them too, right?
we'll try, and
Yeah.
we'll I don't see why not. I thought he was just called Robot. Yeah, I don't know. At some point, I think he got a name, but
Will
he
just
was
calls
the
him Robot.
Yeah, Will calls him Robot, and so
And that's
they
what
told
that's
me.
what they, in the new show they do too. I believe.
Yeah,
I really like the new one.
Yeah, the new one was good. The new one was
they
good.
They did a really good nod to the
yeah.
old.
Yeah, it was really done really, really well. The last season was a little bit, I don't know, wasn't.
Rushed.
Yes, unfortunately, because the previous one was really, really good. I mean, or I really enjoyed it a lot more. I don't know, but either way, the franchise has done pretty good. Their first movie I thought was very good. The remake movie I thought was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I don't know. So it was kind of cool that Meat TV's doing this. So we should swing by and see Svengoolie and run into the Jupiter Experience guys and Doug Hines. And
it's funny they said Mediocre says the actual designation is called benign.
Yeah,
B9.
B9. Yeah,
benign.
Yeah. So that's his actual
benign.
designation, but it's not his name. But that's his designation. It calls. Yes, Dr. Smith calls him Booby. That's right. That's right, Paul. Thank you.
That's right. I remember that now.
So
I haven't seen.
No,
I
man.
haven't watched an older show like that. It's been a bit since I've seen a original Lost in Space.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching
Fun.
Lost in Space when I got home from school in Casper, Wyoming.
Lost in Space was on.
Lost in Space was on, and My Favorite Martian.
Yes, that was also on. The Talking Horse.
Ed, yeah. Yep. Mr. Ed, the Talking Horse was in syndication at that point in time too. And
later on, Star Trek.
Star Trek, yep. That was actually in where I was at. Star Trek didn't come on until 10 o'clock at night. I always watched Star Trek at night.
No.
And
I
then
was earlier.
But when I got home from school when I was a little bit older in junior high, I think it was G.I. Joe, the animated series, was always on. So.
Yeah, no.
Go, Joe. Cobra! Cobra's cool. Come on.
He was a very, very early IL series. Yes, Jeff, I agree.
Lost in Space is typically on TV every Saturday night about midnight CST.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if
Battle of the Planets.
Yeah,
there you
Star
go,
Blazers.
Rob.
Yep.
That's it. Star Blazers and Battle of the Planets.
What was the one where there were birds?
That was G-Force. Yeah, Battle of the Planets.
Was it G-Force?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were different birds, and they had like the fatter kid and the skinnier kid and that G-Force. I love that show too.
But that was for me during junior high because I'm a couple years older than you.
Yeah.
I'm talking back in the early 70s, early to mid 70s, 75 and before is what you were talking about, Lost in Space. And then later, like 77, 78, 79 is when I remember the G-Force and the other stuff.
Well, I was always sitting there doing my homework at the kitchen table with the black and white TV on.
Oh, Speed Racer. That's another one.
Yep.
Speed Racer.
That kid was probably the very first cartoon. No, it wasn't Fat Albert, but so I could relate to Fat Albert. But yeah, I remember the fatter kid was kind of silly in it.
Yeah. Fat Albert was on Saturdays, Saturday morning. Casey Kasem voiced Mark and Alan Young voiced 7, Zark 7. Whoa. Oh boy. Key Luke as Zoltar. Yeah. All right.
Be sure to watch The Great Vegetable Rebellion.
In Lost in Space. That's a great episode. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't remember that one.
Baker had no more ideas at the point. A very goofy show, and cast members were all laughing during the episode. Yep, I remember that. Tiny was the large one. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Tiny. Yep.
Planets.
I remember that now. Tiny.
Great TV, man. That's what we grew up on. That's what I tell you. 70s and 80s, TV, movies, cartoons, guys. That's what we used to do. So look, let's suspend reminiscing for a second, and let's get Tiny Bean Tara on, because she's going to talk about some stuff. Now, I had the pleasure of putting stuff. Yes, I actually had the pleasure of putting together the imagery, and there's some really far out stuff out there. And so,
well, Chris didn't get to review the imagery, so we're going to have a really good time tonight when I don't know exactly what the picture is supposed to be.
Yes, Casey Kasem was also Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And Space Giants, yes, I remember that. But speaking of Scooby-Doo, Velma has got her own show.
What?
Yep.
I see somebody's cheering that one on. Velma has her own show?
Yes.
Yes, Velma. Woohoo!
Yep. And
is it like animated or live action?
Producers Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling, yeah. Mindy? Yeah, okay. All right. Some of the guys know. They know who it is.
So does Wendy Adams. I could probably Wednesday Adams.
That's right.
Yes, Wednesday Adams also has her own show. Yep.
Yeah.
So
when do the Cylons get their own show?
You just wait in turn. Take a number.
Breakfast at breakfast at the Bay Star. Like breakfast at Tiffany's, breakfast at the Bay Star.
That doesn't flow very well.
That doesn't flow well.
Else. Nah.
I'd watch it. I don't know.
Yeah. With Lucifer, that's
what's
people
that?
Think it's
Lucifer what?
Yeah, the devil. It's not. It's aisle 5. That'd be funny.
Oh,
Scrambled brains with Lucifer.
Yeah. So, Tara, what's up?
Hello, guys. Going. Good to be back. I've had my espresso. I'm ready to go.
Hey,
late at night to have espresso. You're going to be bouncing off the green room walls.
I'm running on 12 hours of work. And this is
Mediocre's
the best
got it.
Day.
Mediocre has it. Mediocre come up with the best name for it. Breakfast with Baltar.
Whoa. Followed by lunch with Lucifer. That's good. I almost lost my beard. Almost came through my nose. Very good. Holy Star.
Wow. Amazing.
Well said. Love you guys. I gotta put that on.
Oh boy.
All right, well,
I love it.
let's find out what you have in store for us, Tara. If
Awesome.
What's going on in the world of movies and TV? I know I've been somewhat neglecting TV lately, but I have caught up on most of the stuff that we'll probably be talking. Oh, I don't see anything of that today.
Awesome. Okay.
The stuff that we talked about last week, we did. I caught up on Andor.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, I caught up on that. That was pretty good. And then,
Nice.
the Three Rings or whatever is it?
Rings
So
of
much better than
Power,
the waste of time.
wow,
So much better than waste of time.
you're brutal.
Yeah, that's much better than waste of time. I was enjoying that one actually.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. I like that. Excellent. Well, yeah. Hey, listen, I got a bunch of new stuff to talk about tonight, so I will jump right in. So, hey there, Fleet. Good to be back. Happy first week of October. Hope everyone is enjoying the season change, and I know I am. So I'm going to jump in with some interesting tidbits of some fun stuff on up-and-coming things to start. So I look forward to spooky viewing and reading this time of year, and I love to break out the classics. Bram Stoker's 1897 Dracula being a particular favorite. Highly recommended reading. There is an interesting chapter in it called Captain's Log. It's about a ship called the Demeter. It's a ship that travels from Carpathia to London with an interesting cargo, 50 plain black unmarked crates. And when the ship arrives in London, the crew is gone. A delightful little piece in this whole book, but clearly quite a story to be told there. So enter Last Voyage of the Demeter. This is a DreamWorks film, and it's slated for a 2023 release. This film should fill out the story of what really happened on that ship, and I don't remember that ever being explored before, so this is really interesting. I love that Bram Stoker's work is still being mined for new ideas 130-something years later, so yay. Demeter is going to star Liam Cunningham as the ship's captain and Corey Hawkins as the ship's doctor. Stills look great. No trailers yet, but I will be following that one, so stay tuned. Now, here's one that has been eagerly anticipated for a while. HBO finally dropped a full trailer for The Last of Us, based on the hugely popular game series. This series will feature Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, both from Game of Thrones, as the lead characters, Joel and Ellie. We will follow them in a post-apocalyptic future, traveling across the wastelands of this new America, dodging all manner of difficulties after a massive outbreak. The teaser trailer dropped back on September 26th, which gamers will remember is Outbreak Day. And the gamer fans will also spot tons of Easter eggs in the trailer, and also be happy to hear that several of the major voice actors from the game will be featured in the series. Now, expect this one to drop hopefully early 2023. Looks really good, guys. I usually expect a lot from HBO series, so hoping this one does not disappoint. Now, as we talked about last time, the summer just flies by. There's only so much time to get out into the theaters to catch all the blockbusters, especially when you live in a rural area like me. But we are in luck. We live in an age now where those blockbusters hit streaming way quicker than they used to. So, in case you missed it, now is your chance to catch one of the biggest this year has had to offer, Top Gun Maverick. What can I say? This is how blockbusters should be done. They have raised the rather low bar typically set for sequels from now on. As one critic perfectly said, this movie had two goals to hit: nostalgia and adrenaline. And they over-succeed on both elements. It is packed with iconic moments. Maverick on his motorcycle, Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone, playing ball on the beach, and boy, all those flight scenes. Oh man, just talk about adrenaline overload. This movie is much better than it needed to be a hit. The story and the dialogue are improvements to the original. When was the last sequel you could say that about, you know? The characters' relationships are deeper, they're more well-defined, the actors are spot on. Miles Teller as Goose's son is a standout, as is Glenn Powell as Hangman. I swear someone told him to be inspired by Val Kilmer's Iceman, and he delivered. I loved it. Now, full disclosure, I also did put off seeing this one because y'all know I'm a soft touch, and I knew it would make me cry, and I was completely right. Val Kilmer is my favorite actor, and the Iceman Maverick scene alone is worth the rental price, hands down. Illness cannot stop the snappy smirk of the Iceman, and the rich relationship that these characters appear to have developed over 30 years, it's really well evident in this scene. It's also some of the best acting I've ever seen Tom Cruise do. Those tears on both sides were real. Well, make that 3 sides if you count me. Extra kudos to Tom Cruise for insisting that they could not do the film without the real Iceman. It was outstanding. Make sure you check it out. You will not be disappointed. Now, when October rolls around, as I said, I like to turn to all things spooky. For many years, my spooky October reading often would include a reread of one of the many books by a favorite author of mine, the Queen of Gothic Horror, Anne Rice. I own all her books. Been a fan since I was a kid. I have been incredibly leery of any adaptations of her work after she lost creative control and the rights to her stuff for many years. And that's when movies like Exit to Eden and The Queen of the Damned came out. Ooh. But I did feel the 94 film adaptation of Interview with the Vampire, well, being oddly cast, was good. It was not outstanding, but it was good. You know, hey, I still watch it every year, so it's lovely for what it is. But I have waited a long time to see something on the screen that really, truly feels like it came from Anne Rice, that really transport the viewer into her lush and terrifying world. Well, the wait is over, guys. AMC has brought us Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, with her name right there in the title, in case you forgot. Anne and her son Christopher co-executive produced it, and I'm told she directly approved the scripts for the first 5 episodes before she passed last year. And believe me, it shows. But don't listen to me. The reviews are pretty much off the hook all around. As Vampire Louis says to Daniel the reporter, let the tale seduce you. And it will. The fullness and the lushness of the sets, the lighting, the costumes, they all work together seamlessly to bring New Orleans' darker districts to light in 1910. Yes, I said 1910. Let's get that out of the way right away. They changed the timeline, along with certain other pieces to the tale, but as a diehard fan, I can tell you changes came off for the better. Just let it go. Now, unlike the timeline changes in Rings of Power that are making stickler by the book Tolkien fans irate, from what I am seeing on the Anne Rice message boards, no one is complaining because it is all so good. They are exploring areas and parts of the book in depth in a way that a 2-hour movie can't. The modern time scenes are brilliantly reframed as a second interview 50 years later, which allows a wide open retake. Excellently reframed. The writing is pretty outstanding. Some pieces of dialogue lifted right out of the book. 2 episodes have aired. I am eager for more. There is so much yet to occur and so many characters yet to be introduced. Jacob Anderson's Louis de Pont-de-Lac captures impeccably the character's passionate humanity and conflict on multiple levels. The shocker for me was Sam Reed's Lestat. Now, Lestat is the star of Anne Rice's world in so many ways. Even though this one is Louis' tale, but everything hinges on Lestat. He does not disappoint. The light French accent, the suave demeanor, the absolutely unremorseful savage killing, all blended seamlessly. Veteran performer Eric Bogosian as Daniel the interviewer is also spot on. Fear and longing both playing a tug-of-war at his character for all time. So check this one out, guys. If you are an old fan like me or new to the work, there will be a lot more coming. Season 2 is already a go. And they are planning to bring the entirety of Anne Rice's vast universe to life. In early 2023, AMC will drop The Mayfair Witches, a kind of companion standalone series to Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles. The Mayfair Witches takes place in more modern times, also with the backdrops of glorious New Orleans. This one is going to star Harry Hamlin, Alexandra Daddario, and Jack Huston, John Huston's grandson, for y'all paying attention, in key roles. Now, if they do it as much justice as they are doing Interview, I will be along for the ride, and I hope you join me. Now, before I close out of the corner for the night, I'd like to end with a special quick shout out to a classic TV show that I think often gets overlooked. 46 years ago this week, the great Glenn Larson's Quincy M.E. aired for the first time. Starring one of my all-time favorite actors, Jack Klugman, in the title role, Quincy ran from 1976 to 1983. 148 episodes, and they spent many years in reruns. This was CSI long before CSI. Fabulous mystery in each episode. I am terribly disappointed that it's not available to watch online anywhere without buying it, unless you have Hulu with live TV. And if I'm wrong about this, IFB fans, please someone tell me, because I was really disappointed that I couldn't find it. I'm hoping that that gets remedied soon, because I am eager for a rewatch binge, and I hope you will all check it out too. Another great Glenn Larson classic to enjoy. And that is all I have in the corner for this week, gang. So back to you, Pete.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Rob Baum just said that it's on Cozy
Oh, thank you, Rob. Awesome.
in the mornings. It's on in the mornings on Cozy. So, wow.
Thank you. Excellent.
Yes.
Never
Way
heard
to
of
go,
Cozy.
Rob. All right, cool. You have Cozy?
Never heard of Cozy.
Cozy. Kazi. Cozy. I think it's
Kazi.
Cozy. Yeah. Cool. All
Is it
right.
English
Peter-
subtitled or what? Sounds like it should be Ukrainian or something.
Well,
Really?
yeah. Some of the BBC stuff we do put on the subtitles because it's
Oh,
brutal.
yeah. Like it's
Yeah.
a little fast, and you go, wait, what?
Yeah, you just miss it. A lot of good TV. There's just almost
Yeah.
there's almost enough TV, right? I mean, there really is almost too much, but I'd rather have more than less, and it's good stuff. I mean, it's all out there. Never mind, the classics, like you were saying. Like, there's all this great TV that we'd like to rewatch, and I saw a couple episodes of The Odd Couple here and there, that I stumbled on. I was like, oh, Odd Couple,
That's my
Taxi.
favorite show of all time is The Odd Couple. I could sit here and quote lines with you all night.
Nice.
Love that show.
I believe that Quincy is also one of your mom's favorite shows.
Ah, I think it is. Yes, it is.
Yes, I've heard
Anything
that
with
up front
that
and
climate.
close. Yeah. So I think I told you I'd worked with a great nephew or something like that, or a grand nephew of his.
Yes.
And yeah. He said he was a nice guy. He was a good uncle. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool, good stuff.
Awesome.
Um,
Yay.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to like the what is the last Dracula's the last voyage of the
The
Demeter?
Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Demeter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It looks like it's not going to be out for a while, but I was just fascinated that somebody, pulled that chapter out of Dracula and said, "Let's explore this." All right, I'll take it.
When you said it, I was transferring the pictures so we could set them up as slides, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's a great story." Who would, like what? How terrifying it was for those sailors and the captain on board the ship, which they allude to a little bit in the original Dracula. But imagine that voyage; it's the last voyage of that ship and the crew.
Yeah.
Incredible. And I believe, Chris, there was a comic book. You roll the eyes. Yeah, I believe I saw something. There may have
But it
been
was
a
a
comic
book
book out
before it
there.
was a comic book.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if it was a book. Because it's taken right out of
A
Dracula.
book.
No, but it's just a concept that's a quick side thing in the book, and I believe it's a comic book. If any of you guys know, put it up on the chat for us.
Yeah, please let me know, guys.
Yeah, well, Rob says it's like a Voyage of the Damned. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. So I was like, oh my God, I definitely will catch up and I will watch that no matter what. So,
Yeah.
do you know if it's going to be a show or is it a movie?
I think it's a movie. It's DreamWorks,
Movie.
Oh, wow.
Paramount. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to come to Paramount Plus or if it's just going to hit big screens first. I'll keep an eye on it because I'm fascinated by it. I'm also a big fan of Liam Cunningham as an actor. You'd recognize him from Game of Thrones, probably most recent.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's playing the captain. So I went, ooh, okay, that's good.
So Jeff Walters just said there's talk among the web that there will be a second movie or movie to Dracula Untold.
Oh, cool.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. One other thing, John Repper. Years ago, someone posted a YouTube video. It was scenes of Starbuck and Cy the Cylon from Return of Starbuck, and it was to the tune of The Odd Couple.
Stop! That's amazing.
So that's got to be funny. We should try to find that, Chris, see if that's still out there.
Yes, please. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is just incredible. Well, okay, so great stuff as usual. I mean, like I told you, honestly, when you sent up those pics, and I gotta apologize, there was one that didn't come through, Tara, and I'm gonna try to stay on top of that. Every once in a blue, there's one that doesn't come through, and I couldn't find a replacement. So I'm gonna try to stay a little more on top of that. So apologies. There's definitely one that there was a scene you talked about that I didn't get the picture for. So we're gonna try to make sure.
And that's why Chris was
justice.
Confused.
Yes, that was I didn't. Yeah, that I didn't realize that there was. That's my fault, guys. But that doesn't really take away from the gist of what you're saying and what you're getting across, Tara. So thank you so much, and yeah, looking forward to the next time, and hopefully sometime in the future we will have a big get together with you and some of our listeners and subscribers, supporters, and have a real big powwow, I guess, a big dinner of some sort. It'll be really, really cool. So we're looking forward to anybody. Yeah, of course. If anybody's going to be at New York Comic Con, please give us a heads up. We'd like to meet up with you. We've met with some of you before. So, Tara, one of these days, we're either going to have a con upstate or you're going to come down, or we got to get together.
I would kill to. I haven't been to New York Comic Con in years. I would kill to come down next time. So let's plan.
Let's do that. That would be awesome. We would love
Yeah.
that. All right, so stay safe, and here's to you. All right, thank you for doing what you do. We really enjoyed it, and so does everybody else.
Thank you so much, guys.
All
right, I'm gonna jump behind the curtain and watch the rest of the show. Okay.
Thank you. Tony B and Tara signing off. Right.
Take care.
All right. See you later.
Bye. Sean Shallow from Battlestar Bulletin Board. Greetings to you, sir. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate your support and joining us, of course. Sean, did you? I don't know. Did you get your stuff? You were one of the. I think you were the third winner.
Yeah, in took a picture of it. Remember?
Yes, that's right. You did. Yeah. Okay, so I think it was Professor Patton. And our first and second guys, I want to make sure that you guys got your books. So if you get a chance, give me a heads up. I just want to make sure. So yeah, I know Sean, you were 3 this time. So 1 and 2, give me a heads up. Let me know, because I made sure that I sent those out as quick as I could. But we had a great time. As a matter of fact, Eric Larson got back to me not too long ago. He wanted to follow up. I wanted to know what the feedback was. I told him we had over 10,000 interest in the video. I think it's over 6,000 views around the world, which is kind of cool. So thank you everybody for watching. Yeah. Stephen McCormick, thank you for joining. George G in the house. George, I know I think is still on set and probably on his meal break. Thanks for joining, George. Appreciate it. Still working hard at getting the Viper to a few cons next year. Carl, we're looking forward to that.
Hey, Carl, I wouldn't give up on Dragon Con just yet. So
yeah,
the lady was still looking at it. So
good.
I think if we, I'm going to give it a couple weeks. I'm going to throw another email out to her and say, hey, remember it's a 45th anniversary, and see if they can give us a spot there.
That would be great. I mean, that, we're working hard behind the scenes. Actually, Chris is.
Damn it, Janet.
Yes. Mrs. New York Pete is in the house. Hey, Janet, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. So Mrs. New York Pete was actually at the con with me, and was the one that actually filmed that little spot of Judy Robinson, Marta Kristen. So thank you very much for doing that, and some of the cool pictures that we're going to be putting up was courtesy of Mrs. New York Pete. So thank you so much for coming out and supporting. Really appreciate it. And Carl, we're working. Like I said, Chris is working on that, and we're supporting you 100%. We want that Viper out. But there's also, Chris, there's also a couple other things that we want to make sure everybody knows about, and that is that if you're going to go to Dragon Con, try to jump on there and get tickets and make reservations for a hotel. The sooner the better, right? That's very important to making this a success. So
Team BSG Viper, the prices will go up again, I want to say in a month or so, but you definitely want to find a hotel that's decent close by.
Yeah. Never give up, never surrender.
And then, of course, the Hunger Games, I believe, start on the 11th. If you check out the Dragon Con rooms thing, it opens up at midnight on the 11th, and by 12:01 they'll be filled. But the Hunger Games is what's known as the con rooms. So they have a con price for some of the rooms, and they call it the Hunger Games because, may the odds be ever in your favor, because you're going to try to get a room at one of the host hotels. It's not easy to get the price at the host hotel. So definitely look for that. And of course, if you're coming out to Dragon Con next year, we look forward to meeting up with you, because it's going to be a great year for everyone. So the 45th anniversary, hopefully we'll have the Viper out there. But if we don't, we'll definitely have a large group of fans that will just flood the con with Battlestar Galactica stuff and sci-fi stuff, and you're going to have a great time. If you've never been before, you'll have a great time. I guarantee it.
Well, we're
And they have alcohol there, unlike the New York Comic Con.
Oh boy, okay, let's not forget that. However, I think just as important, if not more important, there's going to be another panel that we'll be involved in.
Yep, we'll be involved in probably 2 panels for minimum.
Yeah,
next year.
Trivia and prizes, and we're also going to try and host a sort of like a amazing race. We'll see if we can get that played out.
They call it scavenger hunt.
Yeah, it's sort of like a scavenger hunt amazing race. We had one set up. We still have it set up. And so we're going to see if we can get that deployed at Dragon Con. It's all BSG related. And I think we can have a
and that would be fun because there's such a large area.
Yeah.
So you can send people all the way down to the Sheraton, which is the hotel that's the farthest away, and then have fun.
Okay, Jeff, thanks for that. Do or do not, there is no try. Correct, Rob. So this is it. Disco ropes. Paul says disco rope for party.
We will have to go to. They don't give us our own party, but the MSFM, the Military Science Fiction Media group, which has the Battlestar Galactica in it. They do have a Can't Stop the Signal dance, which is Firefly related. So if we go there in our colonial uniforms and bring our ropes, maybe we'll just take over.
That would be awesome. That would be really
lots of rope
fun.
dancing going on. I mean, it's risque.
We're gonna have some fun.
We'll have to practice a little bit beforehand, and make sure you get your 1 meter rope that looks like the tassels on the end. That looks like the thing you tie up your curtain with.
That's what they were.
Yeah, that's what they were. Curtain ties.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe a week or so beforehand, we'll play some video, and then maybe we'll need to do an instructional video on how to dance with the ropes.
Instructional video, and we will bring our own techno music, Paul, Commander Kane. Yes, we will. All right, we're gonna have a good time. So I have my tickets. I purchased my tickets to Dragon Con, and we're looking to. We're gonna actually fine tune the cons that we're gonna be visiting, guys, and we're gonna try to put them up as quickly as we know. We're gonna be making
some goals. San Diego Comic Con's a goal.
Definitely a goal. So
maybe C2E2 next year.
Rope lights from Buck Rogers.
Rope lights. I don't remember that one.
That's from Buck Rogers, man. Oh boy, now we're gonna have to look that up, Carl.
Look that one up.
Yeah, we got to look it up. Cylon breakdancing.
No. Cylons don't like break dancing.
Because they're gonna want to break them. That's right.
Break is not a good word.
Oh man.
No Cylon break dancing.
That's right.
We'll call it lock dancing, maybe, or something like that. That's okay. Break dancing is definitely not a Cylon thing.
The Tucana John, thank you for that. As a matter of fact, John 1 is going to be with us at New York Comic Con. We're going to meet up with him tomorrow and I believe Saturday. John, correct me if I'm wrong. So I know you're going to be there tomorrow. We're going to go hunt down some interviews and just, like we did last time. We're going to have a good time with that. Yes, the Tucana Singers. Speaking of that, we were working an angle to see if we could get at least one of them. Yeah, see if we can get one of them who is still around.
Still actually producing disco music.
Yeah, disco music.
Disco is not dead.
No, it's not.
And we're not talking Discovery. So
that's right. Rob Baum says, I think it was the Buck Rogers episode with Dorothy Stratton and the girl robot who always said
booty, booty, booty. Yep. That was Twiggy, Twiggy, booty, booty.
Let's see. Oh, well, that's great.
Look that one back up.
Yeah. And now we have a chance to spread a little bit of our influence and see maybe we can get the Lost in Space, the original series, involved as well. I know the guys they mentioned that they would be very interested in doing something like this because they want to get the word out just like we are,
Yep.
right? So they're very enthusiastic
I don't
about.
think they're MSFM. I'll have to look them up. What
Let's see, we'll
they
look 'em
fall
up.
under?
Yeah,
in,
see if we
fan
can.
track.
Yeah, they, one of the things they told me today, it was a shame that we weren't there together, but at least I can bring you this, Chris. They were saying that, they want to try to make sure that their beloved show, because they're obviously, linked to the original Lost in Space, that they wanted to make sure that that it still continues and that, the newer generation gets involved and, that it's not totally forgotten or overwhelmed, I guess maybe by the newer stuff, that it continues to live through its original series. And they have props and they have they make all the Jupiters and stuff. They have all kinds of cool stuff. So I was impressed on what they had with them, and hopefully we can work it out so they can come to the show and talk to us, because I mean, come on, let's face it, we grew up watching Lost in Space, the original. So that's kind of cool, and I think
I love
fun.
My Favorite Martian. That was a good one.
That was a good one
about
too.
the same time I Dream of Jeannie was on too. So.
Oh yeah, but I Dream of Jeannie was top billing, man. That was a great show too, and Bewitched, right? Let's face it, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie,
Yep.
all that stuff was on.
Oh, Bewitched was I think that was a Saturday morning thing. I watched that after all the cartoons were over. They started playing some stuff like that.
Yeah, it was great. As a matter of fact, one of these days, I think we should all look up some of those shows. I am going to try to hit maybe some TV guides or something and just go through some of that. It'd be kind of cool to see what we were watching, when we were kids back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. They actually have, you can actually look up TV guides from different, there's a bunch of them, because I looked through them to find Battlestar Galactica stuff in regards to the TV movies. Space Mutiny and those kind of things. I went through this, but there's archives that you can go online and see what was playing on TV at a specific date and time.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that. Is it also
cool.
by region?
I don't know if it's by region. I think it's most of the ones I looked at were central. So
Okay, that might work. John Repper says, "Oh, the Warriors and the Cylons should be friends. One of them likes to dance with rope. The other one makes your ships explode. But that's no reason why they can't be friends."
okay.
That was good. What about Far Out Space Nuts with Bob Denver? Whoa, Gumby,
Ooh.
Colin, Gumby,
Yeah.
Yes. Gumby's good, man.
The only Gumby I ever saw was Saturday Night Live.
Oh man, the original the claymation and
Yeah.
Gumby, man.
Pokey and
Oh yeah,
Gumby.
Colin, good one. Yes. All right. Well, look, guys. We got a lot of stuff coming up in terms of the convention. So make sure that if you have time over the weekend, starting this Friday, actually tomorrow, for those of you that are here watching us now, but I know there's going to be a lot of reruns. But this weekend, we're going to try to do some live broadcasting from New York Comic Con.
Gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. Yep. Gumby and Pokey. That's right, Paul. So we're gonna do the Saturday morning shows. Yes, Rob. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do our own version of Saturday morning shows by covering New York Comic Con. There was quite a bit of cosplaying going on today, which is Thursday. Good. Yeah. So I expect there'll be more. As a matter of fact, I don't know. Did I get a chance to show off our new? Oh no, I didn't. I have to show. We have a ribbon. We have an IFB ribbon. Yeah, we have a ribbon, and we're going to be giving those out to interested parties and cosplayers that we stop and speak to. So those will be going around. They're inspired by what goes on at Dragon Con that we've talked about on the show. So they're white, and I'm going to grab one in a second. I'm going to show you. Yep. So it's something that we're pushing now at the conventions when we go. I think it has a QR code on it, and I think everybody get a kick out of it. So we'll be doing that over there. Yeah, we'll do that.
It's a big thing with Dragon Con. It doesn't seem to be big anywhere else, so maybe we'll make a a splash at New York Comic Con. Say,
That's
look,
possible. I gave a couple away today, Chris, and one guy was like, "Whoa!" Oh, it was one of the Ghostbuster guys. Like, "Whoa, what is this?" I was like, "Oh, it's a ribbon. You put it on your tag." And he was like, "Oh man, that's cool." Obviously, he hasn't been to Dragon Con, so he was impressed. So
when you get a ribbon, I'll talk about the Ravishal Pulsaric communications array. So,
okay, cool.
Chris has been nerding out, so hang on for a second. I introduce you the Ravishal Pulsaric Communications Array Mark 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ravishal Pulsaric Communications Array. So this is what's going to help us combine some signals at Dragon Con, or at all the cons. So New York Comic Con, all the other ones. So this thing takes multiple cell signals. So I've got wireless connections here and a wireless connection up here, and then a cell phone connections down here. Other side, down here. So you put your cell phone on this and tether it. And this will combine multiple cell phones into this little mini computer up here. This is a little mini computer, and it combines all those signals together, giving me one big fat signal. So we'll try it, see what happens. So if it works out, then this is Mark 1. Mark 2 will be to the point where hopefully we'll actually be able to broadcast live and walk around the con for hours on end. So yes, it's kind of nerdy looking, and it took a lot of work to get it done. So we'll find out if it works when we get there. But I had fun doing it. I had to learn Ubuntu, which is a programming language for the top up here. So and then of course the battery pack is underneath here, and then of course this will type into my thing over here and my computer, and so it's kind of cool. It's going to be interesting. So yeah, I nerded out. So this was what I've been working on all week, pulling my hair out what little I have left because sometimes it wasn't working correctly. So Pete, you find the ribbons?
Yeah, I did. So check this out. Here it is. Here we go. Bam! Look at that.
It's upside down, Pete.
Upside down.
There you go.
Okay. So here's the double-sided tape, and then you put it on to your pass. All right, you put it on the pass like this.
Ta-da!
Voila! Ta-da! Or when we go out, for those of you that have seen us at the con, right? We have our ID, and I just put it onto the bottom.
Actually fits on that one.
Yeah, it fits perfect. Or if you have a shirt, you could always put it. If it has like you could always put it on. Underneath the shirt pocket.
Yeah.
So we got these guys. These are pretty damn cool. Look at that. Interfleet Broadcasting got a little QR code on the other side of it. It's cool. So there you go. So we'll be giving those out, and we're going to be taking them to all the cons that we go to. So this is kind of cool. I didn't know anything about it till Chris told me about it. Because this is something that they do exclusively at Dragon Con, but no more. So this is going to be going on at New York Comic Con this year, and we're gonna have some fun with that since we're going to be covering the usual and the cosplay and all the other great stuff that goes on, and there's plenty of it.
We'll have to
plenty of it.
Catch them outside because we couldn't get inside the cosplay contest because we weren't fast enough. But
yeah, it filled up, and it's a pre-registration. You can't just first come first serve.
Can't go sit down and watch it.
Nope, you can't. You can't get there early or anything else. Hey, Baz, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. We're just talking about we just made ribbons to give out at the cons. So you put this on to your ID. Hope all is going well with your Viper, and keeping us.
Yeah, last I seen was he was fiberglassing one of the wings.
Yes, Yes, there was
Still
one big
fiberglassing that one wing.
section. I noticed. Yeah. So cool stuff. Thanks for coming on. So we're slowly making our way to, of course, the scrapbook.
Yay, the scrapbook,
Which is pretty good. I like I said, I enjoyed reading this the first 3 times, and now this is like at least my 4th time, and it has info that I did not readily find in any of the magazines at the time. So when this came out, and there were also a lot of articles and interviews with Dykstra mainly, 1 or 2 here and there. Well, no, there was a bunch of interviews, of course, with the Richard Hatch, Dirk Benedict, but Dykstra was one of the top. He would always be interviewed. You'd see his stuff everywhere, and the special effects stuff.
Yeah,
but
because he invented, because of Star Wars, pretty much.
Yeah, but we never really. I don't remember reading anything. Oh, there was one great. I believe Rob, Famous Monsters, I think did a whole thing with Doliak and the Cylon, but that wasn't with everybody, So Baz says, "Hey, did you guys check out the Viper reference group I started for model makers?" Whoa.
Yes. I think I joined it.
Baz, put up a link, man.
That was
Device of War or Science. Is that a Raspberry Pi? We need to talk.
Yeah, it's not a Raspberry Pi. I tried to. You can't find a Raspberry Pi for a decent price. So I went ahead and just got a Windows Mini PC, wiped it, and put Ubuntu on it.
There you go. Simple, not as simple as that, but yep, that's what he did. Baz says anyone can use it. Lots of great Viper info, reference photos, details, Ghibli's, etc. So thanks, Baz. Is that on Facebook? I think. Where is that group?
Yeah, I remember he did an invite on it.
Okay.
So,
all right, cool. So we'll make sure, guys, if you're interested in that, which we all should be, let's throw some support over on that end. It's a really cool.
Oh, but it's really cool because it talks about. It's like a one-stop shop
perfect.
to go find it. All
right, guys.
You got to fix that, Baz. You got to go in there and personalize that and get rid of the number. But I think you have to be there for 30 days or something.
All right. Well, for now, at least for now, Baz, thank you for putting that up. Hey, guys, everybody, if you get a chance, look in the chat. Baz, who's down under working on his own Viper, is finishing it up, actually. He said, there it is, man. That's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Rob says he's looking up. There's an Ovion cover, a Cylon cover, and I'll try to dig out the other issue. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate the support on that one. Nowhere in these stories do they tell the truth how humanity feasted on Cylon babies. Oh, boy, man. No, that's not what happened. I reject that. That is, they did not eat
I reject your reality and put my own in.
That's not the truth.
I reject your reality and put my own in. The heck with
check
you.
out. Oh, look at that Viper Mark II, right? It's the Mark II, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
He's got it's a great one-stop shop to get information. So.
Oh, it's really.
And I know
really
Baz
cool.
did a lot of research and talking to a lot of the people that put together the original stuff. So
yeah. Oh, that's
it's fun to
cool.
watch, when we find something new out, like I think the tail light assembly, the red light on the corner of the wing, he had found that piece was kind of a spare tail light assembly from like a company that you can buy little tail lights for. So
nice,
cool stuff.
The things that the ends that we go to as fans now to do some of these things,
and it's documentation. I mean, face it, somebody maybe 20 years from now, when when our shelf life is expired, you've got somewhere that you can go on the interwebs and find the information.
Yeah, really, really cool. As a matter of fact, speaking of that, there was some fanzine that had a template for the Colonial Warrior jacket.
I wonder which one that one was.
Yeah, it's somewhere out there. We should talk to Chris Fian about it because he might know. I read about that digging once, doing a deep dive. And we also have an unaired interview that we will eventually at some point put up. We've been having some audio problems with it, and he was our,
I know what you're talking about now.
Right? Yeah, so we're going to have his interview up, guys, and he was heavily involved in contacting the prop makers of the original BSG, and he'd gotten a lot of information.
And the fanzines,
yeah, fanzines. He got to actually handle some of the original props and stuff. So
yeah,
we're going to
he wrote the articles on the names of the battle stars and why they why only certain ones were made, and he talked to people behind the scenes of find out what they were originally going to put out. So
we're gonna try to continue cleaning up the sound on that. Unfortunately, we couldn't do a live, and we couldn't do the his bandwidth wasn't good enough to actually do a video. So we did the old-fashioned type of on the phone, and so he gave us an interview, and we will get that up at some point. But speaking of details, speaking about posterity's sake and the future and all that, I think it'd be kind of cool. So we will try to. I'm gonna try to go back and dig up the references for someone that actually made the template for the Colonial Warrior jacket. So yeah. I think that would be kind of interesting for everybody.
I want a red one.
All right, wise guy.
I want a black one, actually. I want a Cylon.
A black one with blue trim.
Black Cylon.
No.
Silver trim.
A black color. I met
a chrome one with black trim.
All right, keep dreaming. It was a black Colonial Warrior jacket with correct buckles and dark blue trim on it. So as if an officer of the deck had his own, and the guy had it custom made, and I have a picture with him. I'll dig it up somewhere. And Chris Fian knows who that guy is. So let's we're gonna get Chris on. We're gonna have some of the other guys come on. As a matter of fact, Chris, this is the time I'm gonna bring this up. We are scheduling, guys. We're scheduling a special. We're gonna be doing a 6-hour special broadcast.
I tried to talk him into 12.
Okay, 6 hour. Chris Laskowski, what's up, buddy? Thank you for tuning in. You just popped in when I'm locking down our future 6-hour show, and we're gonna have guests come in. All our previous, as many of our previous guests as we can get will be coming in and saying hello and dropping in. It's gonna be a marathon. We're gonna do a 6-hour marathon. And I think
6 hours of Pete and Chris. If you aren't insane now, you will be.
You will. So we're going to be doing that before the end of this calendar year, 2022, probably in December.
Yep. And, our Christmas gift to you.
Yes.
Total insanity.
So, that's right. As a matter of fact, Chris, your idea was to have Galactica carols.
Yes. Yeah. Written. So I think we're going to put out a little bit of a contest type thing and have everybody rephrase a carol in the form of Battlestar Galactica and send it to us.
We've already had
we'll sing them on the air.
We had at least 2, so we've already had a couple done. So
those don't count. You have to have new ones now.
Okay, we have to have new ones.
Yep.
Wait a minute. We can also springboard from what's out there, and then build.
We can
up
use
on
those
that.
as a demo. I'm not going to say
the demo.
If we're going to have a contest, we can't have those as playing.
Correct.
So
those are the demos. Yeah. So we're gonna sing Galactica carols because we're gonna do this in December. It's gonna be a 6-hour show, and now we put it out there, so we're doing it. I think we're gonna lose our minds, but we're gonna have. I hope we have some fun with this. I
tried to want to do a 24-hour one, but Pete's talked me down to this 6-hour one. So let's try 24. Come on, it would be fun. Like hour 23, we'd be like really cool.
20 from 24 I managed to get it. I was like, well, we could do a 3 hour. Chris is like, no, we're going to do 20. I'm like, no, we're not doing 24. But all right, so we're doing a 6.
6 hour or 24 hour would be fun. I don't know how many people got out there listening to us by the end of at 23:30, but
I think Jingle Bells, Baltar Smells.
Yeah, there you go.
Laid an egg.
Don't give out your
no, this is for the it's in. It's up. Yeah. This is part of the deal now. It's in play.
Yep.
Previous leader got away. Hey, perfect. Okay, Sean Shallow from Battlestar Bulletin Board has put up the first.
But it has to have. You have to have two. The rules will be you have to have two at least two. We call it lyrics. Two. What am I looking for? You
need to calm down because this is perfect.
Deck
the halls. Look at this. Here's one. Deck the halls with human. Okay, all right, Jeff.
I was going to say halls do rhyme with something else there, Jeff, but
why is it
probably not a good idea.
Why does it have to be 2 verses? Why can't we just
has to have 2 verses? Has to have 2 verses. Sorry.
Well, come on.
We had talked about this already. We had agreed to 2 verses, and now you're backing out on it.
No, you
just
did
like
not.
Just like the 24-hour thing. Now you're backing out on the 2 verses.
Thank you, mediocre modeler. I know. I'm going to put this up to you guys. Is it 2? Is 1 verse enough, or does it have to be 2? I think 1 is enough. I want everybody else. I want everybody else to chime in on this. Come on. Let's find out. You need to find your marbles. Okay, so let's figure it out, guys. I'm putting it out there. Do you want this challenge to be 2 verses, or can we just get away with 1 verse? We'll leave it up to your creativity, and let's see what we come up with. But Sean's in the mix. He's mixed it up. So I don't know. I think this is cool. We're gonna have a good time nonetheless. Hopefully, you guys will be able to sign in and out.
And then we'd even talked about another we had last year. I think we had a Zoom meeting where we watched a movie.
Yep.
Because we're not allowed to watch movies literally because that's a public thing. So we just got together, and while we were talking, there was a movie in the background. And we kind of had some fun with that last year. So I think we'll do that again this year. I remember last year I didn't have any beer with me, and I drank rum. It was a great year. I have to go back and rewatch. We can't rewatch that one because we're not allowed to put that one up. But Chris was drinking a little bit of rum there, and he was feeling good.
Yeah,
it was New Year's. So
Zoom, we had a really, really good time with the Zoom. So yes, we will do that again. Yep. In the meantime, we're going to at some point set the date for a 6-hour marathon. It's going to be in December of 2022. We hope that all of you join us. We're going to have a really good time. We're going to have some of our guests that throughout the last couple of years, we're going to have them come back. In the meantime, let's hit up the scrapbook, the Battlestar.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the scrapbook. So last week we did the first kind of, I guess they call it chapters. You would call it that.
Yeah, they're chapters.
And the first one was the kind of the state of the galaxy, which was just in my opinion, a bunch of propaganda for the colonials in regards to.
You can say whatever you like.
It was propaganda, and so this chapter we have what they call creating the galaxy.
Yes.
So creating the galaxy. So this chapter kind of goes into the art that's behind Battlestar Galactica, and talks about a number of the people that were involved creating the world of Battlestar Galactica. This chapter is kind of nice. I liked it. So
the whole thing is, but I have to give you an update, Chris.
Sure.
Mediocre Modeler says 1 verse is luck, 2 verses is talent.
There you go. 2.
So I think we may end up having to do the 2. There's a reason Lucifer Head looks like an egg, the Great Egg Massacre. Okay, so I got to let you know that Rob Baum raced out and pulled his Future magazine, which I remember, which is a great magazine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So check that out. I
Next
have
up,
a copy
Immortality.
Yeah. Superman, Brave New World, Space Art, Metamorphosis, Space Junk, The Mass Driver, Robot Probes on Venus, Solar Architecture.
That
And it says
almost sounds like a, never mind. Robot
Battlestar
probes on
Galactica
Venus.
feature what $20 million can buy behind the scenes. That's a good one. Thank you, Rob. Much appreciated. Very cool. Sean on Battlestar Bulletin Board has been putting up a lot of the a retrospect on a lot of the great articles. So if you want to see a lot of them, Battlestar Bulletin Board has them. Thank you for doing that, because otherwise a lot of this stuff would be totally lost. I think we might be incorporating some of that into the show, Chris. We should actually grab some of them. I think there's a couple of them that I think are worthy. So as we go into the future, I think we should probably bring some of those up and talk about them on the air. So the chapter, guys, for those of you that have your book in cold storage, right? It starts out, has an intro. It goes into Glenn Larson, writer, executive producer, and it has a really good write up on his career and what he did.
Some of the things I liked in the write up was it talked about how he started out in the Four Preps.
Yes,
and he wrote a couple of their gold records.
Yeah,
and then he went from that and saw that he wanted to write TV.
Right.
So it actually mentions. So I before we get into what he actually wrote and everything else, it's fun that he wrote down here that what.
Hold that thought a second, Chris.
2001. Okay, that back.
No. I wanted to before we dive into the profiles. I actually want to outline who is in this chapter.
Okay.
I thought that was kind of interesting in terms of it starts with Glenn Larson.
What's all the art? Artists and
John
things
Dykstra.
like that,
and then it covers art direction and set design, which usually is not part of.
Forgotten about,
Yeah, which is really, really cool. And one of the reasons that I really like the book. And then, of course, that leads into Jean-Pierre Doliak and the costumes. It doesn't end there. It continues on to talk about Richard Cola, the director. Right? That's kind of how they do a wrap on it. So that's what is fascinating with this, right? It gives you insights into the background, like the making of. So that was what's kind of cool in this. And if you didn't know anything about Glenn Larson at the time, right, when it came out, and never mind, like I told you before, Dykstra, I think, was well covered in magazines all over.
Because of Star Wars,
Yeah, but what about, Doliak, not so much, except for that one great article, I think, in Famous Monsters, I believe it was. But, Richard Cola and these other guys. So I want to actually, kind of point that out, Chris.
Yeah.
So you were talking about Glenn.
So,
Larson.
It starts out with Mr. Larson and talks about how he started writing songs for the Four Preps and how after he saw that he wanted to start writing for TV. But it also talks a little bit about how he used the Greek and Phoenician influences into writing the Battlestar Galactica piece, and it's got some interesting how he thought about the universe and how he came up with the Battlestar Galactica universe. And he's talking about how pyramids shouldn't exist, and he talks a little bit about Atlantis and all of these great strange things that happen here on Earth, and then he mentions what if the colonials were here before, what if so that's kind of where he kind of started out his concept for the show. A couple of things I did notice in here, they mention Larson conceived warships in Battlestar Galactica itself, which saw a city in space 10 times larger than the aircraft carrier known today, armed with weapons that hadn't been invented yet. It was an enormous concept, offered a big challenge. Now, if you remember what he wrote in the original book, the book states, well, it depends on which book you read, and if you can go back and watch our shows for all the book states that it's as big as a planet.
Yes,
The
that's right.
Battlestar is as big as a
Yep.
planet, and then of course
Yep.
the other one mentions it's as big as something else. So depends on which book you read.
That's
But
true. Now,
go ahead.
John Repper makes a good point. He says that on page 22, where you're referring to,
Mm-hmm.
he says that they use the word Centauri's for money
Yeah.
wrong.
Wrong.
Centauri's was first used as a distance in the pilot, and
Right.
later Centauri's were used for about an hour of time. So, yeah, John agreed.
And that'll come up with. There was some interviews in regards to how fast the things were coming out and how little time they had to edit the scripts.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
That's why some of the scripts had they were wrong. Let's see. The tremendous success of Battlestar Galactica. So, Larson had done so many other things before Galactica. So we're talking Alias Smith and Jones, McCloud, $6 Million Man, Switch, Quincy, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew Mysteries, Sword of Justice. Those are all things before Battlestar Galactica. He wrote, it talks about how he started the screenplay. So he wrote one of his first scripts, became an episode for 12 O'Clock High. So that is his very first script that got published, or they got bought, or whatever you want to call it, was in 12 O'Clock High. So I have to find that one and find out which one it is. Yeah, and then he wrote, he sold a screenplay for It Takes a Thief. And then they started to notice him. And then, what's the guy? Gene Kuhn.
Gene Kuhn
was the screenwriter that kind of, if you want to say he discovered him, he took him under his wing and helped him write new things. And I think Gene Kuhn is like a mentor to him.
Yeah, Gene Kuhn, Star Trek, man.
Yep, Star Trek
is where he came from. So that was, when I read that, I was like, whoa.
Then it goes over to John Dykstra. You want to cover John Dykstra?
Yeah. We do John. Well, before we do that, I have another
nugget of information. What?
Yes, nugget from Sean again. Sean Shallow is Silent Night, Ship of Lights, Night. Adama is calm. Wilker is bright. Round young Angela, mother of Z. Holy event so annoying yet bright. Sleep in heavenly cobalt like
we need to work on a couple more of the rhymes there. There are a couple of spots there you need to work on.
Like peace. Excellent.
We're getting there though. I like it.
No, don't stop.
Yeah.
Sean, you're doing it, man. Awesome. That's what we're gonna be doing these during the marathon in December. So you guys, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna bring in, like I said, some of the past guests, including you, Sean. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. I'm glad I announced it tonight. In my head, it was beautiful. I didn't do it justice because I didn't sing it, but well, that's another conversation.
You did do it justice because you didn't sing it. So.
All right, wise guy.
All right,
so
now we're down to Dykstra.
Yes, we're down to Dykstra, and Dykstra, right? So he was he'll forever be linked to Star Wars, right?
Right.
So he was a model, the model genius and special effects guy, linked to Star Wars. He got recruited by Larson, and that was always, like the stick in the mud, because he replicated that talent, that skill that he had developed in Star Wars. He did it in Battlestar Galactica, and so some people saw that immediately and said, oh well, that's just a copy of. It was like this pointing to similarities in how it was done. But the guy himself is super talented. He had created a lot of new techniques that had never been seen before, just like everybody does.
Yeah, that camera
today.
system he created.
And before that,
yeah.
Right, Chris? I mean, before that, anybody that created something and went on to use it in somewhere else in film weren't, I think, as heavily critiqued when this happened between Star Wars and Galactica. But construction, I thought this was interesting. Yeah. Construction of the Battlestar Galactica cost $50,000, and required much painstaking and detailed work, but the result was a 72-inch scale model with thousands of electronic working parts.
Yeah,
That
to
always
include
got me,
turrets
man.
that moved and everything else. So
And lights and stuff.
lights
I
and
always thought
stuff.
that was really cool.
$50,000. Of course, that's 1978 funding. So
That was just incredible. I always thought that was so cool in terms of the detailing, right? That we knew,
yep.
like how big it was. So 45, they created a total of 45 miniature spaceships for 300 separate special effects. As a matter of fact, Chris, we ran into in social media, we ran into one of the guys. There is a fan, a BSG fan, that was making models of all the ships
Right.
in the fleet. We should catch up to that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, we definitely.
I know one of the guys that I met at Alcon in Dallas is in the process of making a standard Battlestar Galactica. I think Carl knows who that is.
That would be so cool to because I know the last article I read on this one particular fan is he was doing that in the opening. There's almost like a Delta ship that flies like into the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And he was building that one. I think he was finishing that one up. So that would be kind of cool. Dykstra is highly featured in the first episode of Light and Magic on Disney Plus. Watched it last night. It's really good. Did they tell me they mentioned Battlestar Galactica, right?
Yeah. But do you know who Dykstra's daughter is?
Dykstra's daughter is whom?
She's a star.
Of?
And she's in...
What
show is it? The one with the freaking Muppets.
Muppets.
Farscape. Oh, yeah, Farscape. Farscape.
What?
Yeah. She doesn't use Dykstra as her last name. I gave away it's a she. Gigi.
What?
Gigi is Dykstra's daughter.
Get out. Oh, I met her at one of the conventions.
Yeah.
Got her autograph and picture and stuff. Are you joking? Yeah, Gianna.
Yeah.
What? Oh, see, if I would have known that, I would have brought it up. Oh,
yeah.
Man. That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh, boy. She does cons, man. We should, wow.
She does cons, but he doesn't. I tried to reach out to him, and he doesn't do interviews or anything.
Not anymore, huh?
No. So, but yeah, I mean, you look at some of the stuff that he did, like the camera system that he got created, which was the Dykstra Flex. There's some pictures. If you look that up, and you can see pictures online about how they used it and how it rotated around specific things. It talks a little bit about blue screens in here, of how they use those. It's kind of cool. The blue walls. So John Dykstra did a lot. The Silent Leader, the Lizard-like Leader, the Imperious Leader stuff. That's all, all the special effects, but he did mostly the ships and the explosions and you watch. I think there's one in some of the behind-the-scenes piece where they actually have the Vipers and they were using the gas to push out the back of it to make it look like it's going the turbo, and that's pretty cool.
Well, there's not a lot in this article. What I appreciated, like I told you, Chris, like when I was looking through, like the magazines, which I've mentioned many, many times, is I was always looking to find out more of, the rest of, like how did Larson, where did he get it? What was the inspiration?
Right.
Backstory, the mythology and the world building that we call world building now.
Yeah, that's in this book. Yeah.
That's in this book.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in a lot of other articles. This part of the Dykstra, it doesn't get into his history. Right. They kind of left that out. And they just move on now to art direction and set design.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
This is really interesting.
Holy mackerel. So I was, again, this is why I really, really enjoyed this book. So they mention now that There's all work within the art department is done under the supervision of art director, and the sets themselves are planned and laid out by set designers. John Chilberg was the art director for the 3-hour pilot film. He worked with set designers John Warnke and Dave Klassen to produce the enormous functioning structures on the Universal sound stages, and with set decorator Mickey Michaels and Lowell Chambers to accomplish the final realistic details. I was like, who the heck are all these people, man? I never, so like, you're like getting names. I'm like, what? I remember, guys, you guys remember, this is before the internet, how you don't, there's nowhere to plug in names and find out who
they were, where they were at.
Them. Yeah. So when I read that, I was like, oh, so there's these are the other people that are involved in, making the show. And of course, Chris, they talk about the computers.
Yeah,
right?
so
The
biggest, they say the biggest set on the in the Galactica thing was the bridge, and then so they actually had to they don't mention the company, I believe it's IBM, but they don't mention the company that they actually talked to get all the computers, and so for those controls, Mickey contacted a large computer company, it's IBM, and arranged for it to install $3 million worth of actual computers. $3 million worth of actual computers into the set, just for the, and then of course they programmed them also to look and work just kind of like the way. So that's kind of when you see Adama talking into the computer and all that stuff coming up. That was high speed for 1978. I mean, nowadays that's like, well, it's DOS. It's monochrome computer screens, and there's no color screens on there or anything. But 1978, that's what you had,
Right.
We were still playing, what is it? You died of dysentery.
It says, included were flight simulators that are, according to Glenn Larson, quote, one generation beyond the hardware in NASA's space shuttle. A large number of television monitors worth about $35,000 altogether were also installed. That's generally known. So that's something that. Mediocre Modeler says there were lots of pictures of one of the first pictures is of him. Yeah, there were a lot of pictures out of models and stuff. But one of the first one is Dykstra in front of the nose of the Galactica.
His head's inside of it practically, yeah.
Yeah, you got to know what you're looking at. But when I saw it, I knew it immediately. The feature actually talks about the whole crew. It's called A Gang of Outsiders. Oh, that's really interesting. So I think, Mediocre Model, you're quoting from that episode that you said was on. That's pretty cool. Like the Pong. That's it. Yep. It says watercolor sketches by Mill Majors were important in conveying the concepts. I thought Ralph McQuarrie did the concept paintings. Well, see, there's always more than one. Yeah. There's always more than one. So we have to look into that. That would be interesting to look up. But John, if you look
the story of the flood here too.
Yeah. Some of these pages are not numbered, but that's always an issue. But they have pictures. One of the more unusual guests at the casino passes through the crowd carrying a glass of ambrosia. They had pictures that you never see anywhere else, and it's like some alien creature, which is really cool. It's on the page with the Jean-Pierre
left over from Star Wars, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. So I thought that
one
was
one of the stories that come in here is they where they built the Galactica Bridge was called the swimming pool or something of the area, and there was some heavy rains, and there was really concern about it being flooded. I mean, you just spent $3 million on all the computer equipment, and they're worried about it flooding out. So they actually talk about this big flood that came in, and they how they ran pumps and they sandbags and everything else to keep everything from something happening to all of the equipment there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So then, I mean, there's some other pretty cool details. One of the biggest problems was the shuttle taking Dykstra's model.
Yes, that's an interesting one too.
Yeah, it says model and determining a scale based on the size of its windows, they found that the actual life-size shuttle would have to be at least 110 feet long, much too large to fit onto one of the sound stages. The art directors decided to construct only half the shuttle, but even that was too large, so they arbitrarily cut the scale in half, hoping that that slight divergence in scale would not be noticeable to viewers, and built the exterior and interior 33 feet long.
Yeah,
That
so
was
I mean,
fascinating.
yeah. So if you actually look at what the shuttle is supposed to look like, I think if you look at
Yeah.
the Battlestar Galactica blueprints, I think they have one there. I mean,
Yeah.
the windows on that thing, you know, it's supposed to be like a huge bridge
Right.
up top, and of course there's a land ram inside and all this other stuff. So I always wondered that when you watched Gun and Ice Planet Zero, or whatever you want to call it at this point, Silent Death Machine, but when you watch that one, and it's like, oh yeah, they have a land ram in there, and you look at the outside of the shuttle, it doesn't fit the size idea
Does
that
not
you would
fit.
think.
Yes, it doesn't fit.
So that's kind
So
of
now
cool.
we know why, because
Yeah.
they scaled it down. So, yeah, so that's cool, and
And
it's
so
got.
speaking of the Guns and Ice Planet Zero, I love the
Oh, yeah.
story here that
I got it.
so
Yeah.
those things in Ice Planet Zero, there's when they firing the Ravishal Pulsaric Communications Array,
Human built and designed.
human built and designed, and that's why it blew up. There's pumps, and they wanted to wire all these things together so they all moved at the same time, but to save money, they thought they would just have people do it. Well, the
Manually.
yeah, manually. So what happened was, so these things are 17 feet high, 14 feet in diameter, and the art director comes on and says, he says he gets in trouble because let's see who calls. The producer's office got a call for that for that many special effects men. And they said, why we have 30 special effects men for the laser station? Because those pumps were so big and they were using actual people to move them. They needed 30 people there, and he got in trouble for it.
Yeah, you had to pay all that labor, man.
Yeah, you had to pay all the labor for that.
Crazy.
So instead of wiring up and making them move with some kind of electronics, they said, no, we'll just have people push them. And then come to find out it's gonna. And then plus they had to all go together. One couldn't go, or so. So you can imagine the yelling back and forth. All right, ready, go. Okay, all right, team number 2, move faster. Team number 3, slow down.
That's funny. That's really funny. So
that's a great photo right there. I like the Boxy trying to get his head chopped off.
No, that's him running away right before
he chops his head off.
Boomer or Starbuck shoots that mean Cylon in the face.
That's the use of the sword,
which is
decapitate little boys.
That's crazy. That's illegal. So anyway, that kind of more or less, guys.
It's funny. He's got the rifle in his left hand and a sword in his right.
Yeah,
like he's
weird.
holding the. It's like
not,
I guess he didn't. Well, let's think about this. Remember, the book talked about how flammable the environment was.
Yes, that makes sense.
So he didn't want to shoot in the environment, cause a big fire.
Yeah.
So it makes
not
sense.
That he really cared about
smart Cylon.
Not that he really cares about the Ovions that much, but anyway.
I didn't want to die, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that kind of wraps up, for the good or the bad, that wraps up this part. And it then goes right into Jean-Pierre Doliak, which, as most of you know, we had him on the show. And, he wrote a book.
Reach out to him, see how he's doing.
Yes, see how he's doing. He came on last year. We were honored to have him, and, we discussed the book that he had written. He sent us, which we featured and we displayed the plates that are the artwork that's in the book. We're looking up I mean, he was really,
The Naked
really,
Truth is the name of the book, and it's a really interesting book to talk about how some of the stuff came to be. Plus, it also talks about some of the people he also had worked with in regards to getting costumes. So a lot of it was the older some of the older actors that some of us don't remember as well, but also some of the newer actors, actresses, and things like that. Like you remember talking about, I thought one story is in there about the girl from Buck Rogers, the princess. What's her name? Princess. I want to say Ardala, but that's probably not right.
That's not. Yeah, that was. I was also saying that.
Yeah. Anyways, so he's in there doing the set, doing the dressing on that, and she's like, "This thing barely covers my cooch."
Yes, he shared that all with us. It's a really good. It's a great. I mean, a great interview.
It is Ardala. Colin says it's Ardala. I was right.
Oh wow. Yeah, it was a great interview. Never mind, the book is fantastic. We own copies.
Yeah.
We both purchased copies, but we had a great interview with him. He spent the whole time telling us all these great stories. So if you guys are interested, definitely go and pull up the interview we did with Jean-Pierre Doliak here at IFB. What a gracious man. We were really, really happy to have him on and sharing all these great stories. Yes. So please, go back to that. The book here itself just quickly mentions.
Just a quick,
it says headdress of the ancient Egyptians was transformed perfectly to become the flight helmets of the colonial warriors. Ancient Greek chlamys became their capes. The warriors tucked and tufted shirts and jackets resemble garments worn by both the Greeks and the Sumerians. Despite the horrifyingly futuristic images of Cylon centurions, their armor seems to be based on the armor of the ancient world. So, we did discuss that with Mr. Doliak.
Yep.
And he gave us all kinds of insights.
And then I like the way and it's also Larson recalls. So Doliak did the job designing the Cylon so brilliantly. Says Larson recalls, it became a nightmare for the cinematographer Ben Coleman. The chrome reflected every light on the set. It was practically blinding, but the effect was too scary to give up.
So cool. And then, of course, the last section, Chris, in this chapter is on Richard Cola.
Right. The director.
And so first there was the $3 million worth of complex electronic sets and machinery to deal with in a way that evidenced familiarity, right? So you got to get people to feel like they know what they're doing with this stuff when they've never seen it.
He said it helped the actors act out the scenes.
Yeah, it's just crazy to have all that stuff. But his first feature-length motion picture was Zigzag in 1970, a thriller with a highly complex plot. This too was a director's challenge. I've never seen that. I think I'm gonna have to look that up. Either. Yeah, he did.
But he did Ironside, Virginian.
Yeah.
The Name of the Game. He did.
The Soldier.
One of the other things is he did religious short films made for family theater, which that's something I never knew.
Yeah, never knew that.
I'm kind of curious what the.
Yeah. So, right. So that was kind of like the more or less the background, and that was it though.
Yeah,
I wanted
a really
more.
Short section on him.
Yeah, it feels like I don't know what happened, but then it follows. This will be our next chapter.
Next chapter is the good people from the battle. I would disagree.
It's good. There's a breakdown of 9 of the lead characters in the show, and it has really good write-ups on each one. It gives you the depth of character on each one. How they how did their careers lead up to getting onto Battlestar Galactica, and you'll find that
this is the only one I care about.
Yes, I know that, but she's not first up, and you'll see that
Mm-hmm.
both Richard Hatch and Dirk Benedict had done a lot of theater and some really interesting insights into their background. I thought it was really, really cool. Let's see. Pamela Gale Hensley was the actress in Buck Rogers. Thank you,
Pamela
Colin.
Hensley.
Appreciate that. Yep. So, we're going to continue with the scrapbook. Chris, I don't think we've made a decision on where we're going to go after this.
Not yet.
Did
I
we
don't think
start?
so. I think we talked about going back to the book versus episode pieces in regards to maybe
Yeah,
book number 3. It's kind of a thinner book, but
yeah.
which
We may
is
end up doing that. I have mine
War of the
on my
Gods.
shelf there.
Not War of the Gods. Yeah, War of the Gods.
Number 3 is the Tombs of
Tombs of
Cobalt.
Cobalt. Yeah.
That's Battlestar Galactica 3.
So,
So
and then we'll have
we
to skip
might go
4
there.
because that's
I can't see
somehow
without
that one
leaving.
got. I don't know how number 4 got in there. Four is Battlestar Galactica 80.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know
Oh,
what
that reminds me. Inside the scrapbook, it talked about the motorcycles.
Go ahead.
I gotta find it.
Yeah,
It's
because that's Eric Larson confirmed that was
it was
they were
originally
supposed to
thought that they were
Yep.
going to put him in there first.
Yeah, there would be like scout ships of some sort.
Yep, here they are. So it says creators. So after the land ram and the snow sled, one might have thought that the creators would have run out of land vehicles for the space travelers. However, Dave Klassen, who was responsible for the shuttle, has gone on to design motorcycle-like vehicles called land probes. These were so complex that they could not be built from blueprints alone, forcing him to turn to clay to produce a sculptured version.
So it really isn't what
It
we
was
saw.
not designed for Galactica 80.
No,
They were
and
designed before Galactica 1980.
and it's not just a motorcycle.
No, it's a land probe.
Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting.
I almost
So
forgot about that one. So I thought that
yeah.
was kind of interesting.
Well, so that I mean, look, there's a lot of really cool tidbits in the scrapbook, and I'm really happy we're getting a chance to actually go through that. And before we go into the wrap, Rob Baum sent me a picture of the special issue of Famous Monsters number 151, and it has Superman, Lord of the Rings, and Galactica special effects, and that's what the cover looks like. I'm sure you guys have either own it or maybe look through this at some point in time. I have one of these, and I remember seeing it as really, really cool. So again, thank you, Rob, for sending that my way. Really appreciate that, and sharing it with the rest of IFB. And Chris, we are basically at the end, but that's okay because the end brings renewal and brings us to another great show.
Renewal.
Yeah,
Starting to sound like Logan's Run.
Logan's Run, baby.
There is no sanctuary.
There is no sanctuary. There is carousel.
Renew.
I'd like to see what the land probe would look like without wheels. Chris, who knows, man?
Yeah.
I wonder if
the land probe was kind of a push towards the it's the Earth episode, that weird looking vehicle that was supposed to look like it's floating on air, that the robots are driving.
Oh yeah, it could be.
I wonder if that was
That's
it.
right. That's the one with Eric in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all good things, guys. We had a lot of laughs and good times here just on our show, and it says Jeff says it probably looked like those scooters from Flash Gordon. Possible.
Maybe.
It's possible. It'd be cool if we end up being able to dig up some of those plans, but nevertheless,
the clay model. I'd like to find out if we could get a picture of the clay model. I wonder.
There's
got to be pictures out there somewhere.
New York Comic Con is on as we speak, starting tomorrow.
Oh, not right now. It closed.
Today it's closed, but during the weekend there'll be stuff going on late. Not at the actual Javits Center. Yeah. I know it's not Dragon Con, Chris, but there'll be other events. So we're gonna be out there. We're gonna be covering. Just want to thank everybody and stay tuned because this weekend we're going to sneak in some live.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, because we have our own rabbit trawl.
If I can get enough special effects people to push the pumps.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Everybody's got to push the pump right so it's all lined up.
So we'll see if we could get that done, but we're going to try. So guys, keep an eye open for some of our live updates from the convention. We really enjoy having you watch. Thanks for tuning in. It's a lot of fun. It makes a big difference when you guys are chatting it up, and we really enjoy it, and we look forward to hopefully someday meeting up with all of you. And if we can't do that, then here is good as well. So thank you. Keep clicking and subscribing, right? So the thumbs up and all that good stuff. Remember that you have to subscribe as well.
Everybody needs to go and check their invites, because there are a lot of people that are on right now that have been invited to IFB, but have not accepted that invite.
Please, we really appreciate it if you did. We expect, every time we go to a big con, our numbers go up, and we want to thank everybody in advance for that. Thank you so much. So if you want to contact us, you know that our email is info@interfleetbroadcasting.com. For me, stay safe, be awesome, and see you at the next show. Keep the faith. And Chris?
Yeah, we'll see you this weekend. Hopefully you'll tune in for a couple of those live things and check out what's going on at the New York Comic Con. So that's always a fun thing to see what's going on there. And we really thank you for being here. And Pete's smiling over there as he's answering texts. But once again, thank you for being fans. Thank you for watching us tonight. Thank you for helping share the information and share your love for science fiction, as well as 70s and 80s and 90s pop culture for other people to understand and see. And with that, Pete?
Push the pump.
Push the pump, yeah.
Oh, boys. Listen, fans fuel the fleet. I'm trying to...
Well, you've had too much to drink tonight, evidently. Fuels fan the fleet.
Yeah. Guys, thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it. I was trying to read and speak at the same time. Which
see, if you had two brains, you don't have that problem. Silence are much better at that.
I'll learn, Chris, eventually. But thanks a lot,
you'll
guys.
Convert
really
over to silencer later.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. And I don't think so, but here it is. Silence right here. We'll keep him right where he belongs. We'll see you over the weekend, guys, and at the next show. Thank you very much. Here's to you.
Here's to you.
Fans fuel the fleet.
Fans fuel the fleet.